Hey everybody, it's Ron over here at Becoming Enlightened Together. So we're going to do two readings. First chance I've had to get back to this, so just try to make up for whatever I may have missed before. So we're going to get right into it. Now this particular reading I just did is basically about secrets that are about to be revealed to you. Okay, whether you asked for these things to be revealed to you or not, you prayed about it, you've been wanting some type of closure, or maybe they are just things that you need to know. But something is going to be revealed to you very, very soon, and it deals with disloyalty. So it could be a domestic type of disloyalty, or friendship disloyalty, or perhaps somebody you work with or around disloyalty. It could be a group disloyalty, a family disloyalty, but some form of disloyalty is about to be revealed to you. And it also involves somebody who is suffering from some types of addictions, and some of them are indeed sexual addictions. Okay, and that comes from many, many other things that have been unresolved in their mental work and so on. Your mental health. Alright, so anyways, let's just go ahead and get directly into this. We're talking about the overall energy for the week. Okay. So as we know that the future outcome is a little bit bleak about this person who is in your life, karmic, or they were, at least at this point, they were very, very karmic. So you're going to find out that information here very, very soon. And it goes also hand in hand with the overall weekly energy that we got, which is Othala in the reverse. Now, Othala in the reverse talks about recklessness and frustration and legal problems. It talks about all manner of hassles, lack of order in one's life, totalitarianism, prejudiceness, clannishness, any type of racial or any type of division, basically. It also talks about poverty and homelessness. Talks about bad karma. I mean, that is literally one of its interpretations, with all in the reverse. But it also talks about something that binds somebody. So whether it's an oath of some type, some perhaps misconception of responsibility, perhaps. Maybe they're self-martyring themselves. Or it could be a legitimate, thing that they're really trying to do right by. Hard to say. There's nothing really indicating one way or the other in this particular case. Okay, so that is the overall weekly energy, along with the future of what we can expect here for this. Now, the current energy is quite the contrary. The present energy of Tiwaz. Now, Tiwaz is the god Tyre's rune, if you will. Tyre basically presides over the third Ayat group or family of 8 runes. He is the great sky god. He is the great god of, well, you could just say he's the god of leadership, okay? All that you would encompass in terms of leadership, he was. Bearing, courage, decisive, dependable. He was enthusiastic. He always used initiative, great judgment, great justice. He's the god of those things. Great knowledge, loyalty, unselfish, very much so. I forgot the 14th one. Damn, that's what happens sometimes when I do this and I do it in a different way. There are 14 leadership traits, and the military is expected to memorize it once you get to a certain grade, rank, and all that kind of stuff. But, God, Tyre embodied those attributes and traits. So that's what it's telling you, basically, to utilize at this time, okay? And if you are, of course, in the collective, then I assure you that you have been working at least in alignment with that concept. So good on you, okay? Now, the past energy was that of algas in the reverse. Now, algas in the reverse is not a particularly good energy to have. It's like the peace sign, upside down peace sign, so to speak. And in reverse, what that means is somebody who's either using other people or is being used by other people. But it could be both, okay? So while you're using somebody thinking you're getting away with it, you yourself are being used, okay? It also talks about somebody who misleads others, okay? They're not what they appear to be. Somebody who's actually internally very vulnerable. Somebody who has a number of hidden dangers. Now, that could be dangerous to themselves. That could be dangers that they themselves are exposed to because of association, whether it's family or a group of some kind or whatever the place may be. Most of the information that we're talking about in these readings this week are about the karmic, in some way affiliated with the karmic and the karmic's multitudes of third parties in some cases. Not everybody's the same. And not every third party has to be a sexual partner, if you will. I mean, it can be anything that takes the focus or energy away from, the actual relationship. So, a spouse, a family member, a job, any number of things can fill that particular billing. All right, so what we're talking about here, again, in terms of algas in the reverse, past energy, is very, very negative for the karmic. So they're experiencing even a loss of the divine link. Now, you lose your link with the divine, that it doesn't get much, more hopeless, really, than that. You may think yourself to be parting for eternity in hell and this, that, and the other thing, and, nobody knows with 100% certainty what the next life looks like, per se. We all have our perceptions of what that might look like, might be like, and so on and so forth. I just keep trying to evolve while I'm in this life, so I get, presumably a better outcome, and presumably won't have to keep reliving some of these, very melodramatic and sometimes often very difficult scenarios in life. That you believe that there is some type of universal justice and balance, and that you'll get your just rewards by doing right, by doing good, by being a help and not a hindrance in the divine order of things. That's the way I see it. The way I see it is in a sense that we kind of owe that divine being, creator, architect, whatever you want to call it, God. He gave us life, creation, a chance to learn. Yeah, it's not easy. it's definitely not easy. And yes, I have my moments of lack of clarity where I get angry and I bring it to God too. I do. I bring it before my ancestors. I talk to the universe as a whole. I do. I leave it open. I talk to the Fae. I talk to Mother Gaia, so to speak, Mother Sophia. I talk to Jesus. I talk to Krishna. I talk to Odin, Frey and Frigg. Freyr, Tyre. To a lesser degree Loki and others, in the Norse belief, but so I find solace in those who came before us and tried to do a similar thing in their period of time. And I'm not saying the same as Jesus, the same as Krishna, not in the sense of what they themselves did or accomplished. they all have, books written after or about them and everything else that we still read about thousands of years later. Yeah, and I know there's those out there that would argue that some of these things didn't take place, and they're probably right. Some of the things as recorded are not necessarily accurate to, the degree we would like to believe them to be, being references to the Most High in our relationship with them. But anytime man gets involved, especially men with a want of power, one of the things that they have always classically utilized in that pursuit is a religious veneer. And, Constantine was very well aware of that when it came to forming of Christianity, what's accepted, and so on and so forth, which books would be canonized and utilized, and who the parties that were deciding it at that time. So you got to look at things for what they are, and I look at the world's religions as a whole. And I'm not a scholar, not in that sense of having degrees everywhere on my wall on this particular subject matter, but I do look at it quite a bit. I do consider it in regards to science that I'm aware of. I taught electrical and thermodynamic theories and stuff like that, from my mechanical electrical technologies courses. And I see how it all meshes together, as I already stated, with not just other science, but things that are more on the dogmatic or religious, or more precisely spiritual side of things. So I see the connections. Okay. Other people, they look desperately to find things that divide, and I'm seeing quite the opposite. But that's a whole nother story. So the past energy, again, echoes what we got for the overall weekly energy, which is extremely negative and all dark, because it's talking about the karmics and what they are either going through right here, right now, or they are very, very soon to be experiencing. And you yourself are going to be experiencing or witnessing some of this. And this is what this is telling you, okay? Now, the obstacles and the challenges is that of Haglis. That's Mana, I'm sorry, this one is Haglis. This is Haglis, later H in their alphabet, and I believe that the god Heimdall is represented by that. He is the great guardian of Asgard. He guards the Rainbow Bridge. Presumably you can hear the grass grow. I don't know how far away, but quite a distance. He can see for hundreds of miles unobstructed in every direction. He has the most extreme, if you will, abilities in regards to that. Nothing can get past him. But when we're talking about as the rune is represented, it talks about both limits and upheavals, risks, delays. It talks about destructive, uncontrolled forces, and that can be weather, but it could also be that of the subconscious as well. Remember now, when we talk about air and things of that nature, we're talking about, when we're talking about water, we're talking about emotions. When we're talking about air, we're talking about the intellect, presumably. Okay? Just to make the connection between the elements and some of the things that we're talking about here. So it also talks about basically how through controlled crisis it can lead to a completion of something and inner harmony as well. So this could insinuate that somebody might be trying to set up the destruction or the end of some type of thing, what they conclude would be a victory for them, however that looks. But that could be 1,000,001 things. Okay. Now, in terms of our help and advice, what we got was Manas. And what this is reminding us, collective, is that we're all human beings. Okay. and on a human journey, and we're all at different points in that journey. So it's basically reminding you that you have your perspective of, this person and the things that they're doing and so on and so forth. And sure, yes, some of it may be very personal. And they have their opinions as to why they're doing it to you for whatever reason, and that's kind of what this particular rune is speaking about, those kinds of things. It just reminds us that we're all humans, so to speak. I believe there may be other species among us too. That's a whole other story. And at the very least, there seems to be empty vessels where other types of energies can jump back and forth in, kind of like the Agent Smiths that we see in the Matrix type of movie franchise. So that's, again, I digress. But that's what this particular rune is reminding us. So that's why it's under our help and advice. We're going to witness their karma, or at least parts of it. A lot of their secrets are being revealed or are about to be revealed. That's going to be truly humiliating and humbling for them. And they've been riding in a very high state of self-grandizement, so to speak. They really thought they were above ever being found out or ever held accountable for that matter. So be humble in this time is basically what it's getting at. And I'm not trying to tell you how to act. I'm reminding myself as I say these things too. You've been hurt and harmed and treated most foully, constantly, or many times along the way. Sometimes you want a little bit of justice. You want to know that it's being done for a reason. You don't have to give when it's the last of something, or you don't have to give your time when you have a million other things and people that want your time. I mean, there's so many ways that we give of ourselves and self-sacrifice, and some people simply devour it and never actually reciprocate. There is no reciprocity. And again, that's how we determine those who we keep in our life and those we leave. Okay? If there is no reciprocity in the relationship, then it is not something you should be holding on to. And it's a simple thing. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to walk away from somebody you convinced or you maybe really are in some type of, a relationship that complicates things. But you have every right, if there's no reciprocity in that relationship, not to be there. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean that somebody went off and gotten a little, put on some weight or whatever the case may be. I'm not talking about anything like that. You guys chose to love each other through sickness and health and wealth, whatever, it doesn't matter. The list of things that your love is supposed to be greater than are things that you echo and utter when you make your vows to one another. So whether you write them yourself or they're your typical ones, I was, butchering. So anyway, so again, the overall future outcome is that of these secrets being revealed to you, you witnessing their karma, and them knowing that you're able to see it too, which is like a double entendre of humiliation for them. So be humble, okay? Yeah, they deserve what it is that they're getting. They chose not to listen, but we need to be humble, because of the golden rule. And again, this is one of those universal laws I literally find in every world religion. It's the truth. That makes it scientific reasoning. I mean, we have no other things in common. We have just these handful of things that we have in common, regardless of the other things that make up that particular so-called dogma or belief system. The things that we do have in common are the very things that I find to be universal laws, because in many ways they are. They're the laws of physics, if you will, in many cases. But do or treat each other the way that you yourself want to be treated, If you want to be treated poorly, treat people poorly. You want to be treated kindly, then you would think, of course, and it doesn't always work this way, and that's true, that you treat people kindly. Sometimes they take it as a weakness instead of this great strength that it actually is. They don't have the strength to do it, or even the mental capacity or empathy, literally, to try to understand. So this is what I mean. They're just infants in terms of their walk so far, spiritually speaking, and you may be many lifetimes ahead of them, or they may be one of those empty vessels I was referring to, and they're like your karmic, your test, if you will, the one that's there to initiate the harm and all that. They don't necessarily understand that or know that, but it's just one way of looking at it, I guess. But anyways, I've yammered on for 21 minutes, so as always, everybody, take care. God bless. Stay victorious out there, and we'll all see each other someday in Valhalla. Okay? Till then, take care.